For centuries, a very specific image of divine justice has dominated our culture. We often picture God as an ultimate judge, weighing human wrongs against a required penalty, demanding a strict legal transaction to balance the cosmic scales and appease his anger. That legal framing risks obscuring the actual universe-spanning event that took place. Two opposing principles of governance are locked in a conflict for the universe. To accurately see what happened, we need to leave the courtroom behind. We must examine the cross as a battlefield where the true character of those competing forces was finally unmasked. Satan's operating system relies on self-exaltation, a hierarchy maintained through coercive force, fear, and top-down domination. Here, these systems collide. The first force restricts and dominates. God's method is self-emptying love, expanding to sustain others. At Calvary, coercion was exposed. Satan attempted to obliterate the Creator, but by absorbing this violence without changing its nature, love transformed the moment. By refusing to fight back using the enemy's methods, God provided an unfiltered view of his character. Every observing intelligence in the universe could see exactly what happens when absolute power chooses to suffer rather than coerce. The cross serves as the ultimate, undeniable unmasking of both characters to the universe. With the victory of love secured, we have to look at Earth's history and ask why that revelation was so quickly buried. For centuries, organizations professing to follow the way of the cross utilized massive, state-sponsored systems of coercion and empire building to enforce their religious mandates. These historical institutions maintained the physical iconography of the cross while operating using the exact methods of force and self-exaltation that Jesus actively dismantled. When the symbol of the cross is severed from its actual mechanism of self-sacrifice, it instantly becomes a weapon of human oppression. Apostasy is the active replacement of love with self-preserving power. Whenever a religious system adopts coercion, dictates behavior through fear, or aligns with political force to ensure its own survival, it operates under a counterfeit cross. Because true apostasy is a behavioral alignment with Satan's methods of governance, the cosmic war has been actively raging within human institutions for millennia. This conflict scales down from sweeping historical empires directly to the daily life of the individual. The Apostle Paul described his experience by writing, "I am crucified with Christ." He outlined a reality where a person stops holding a historical belief about an execution and starts living by that same standard. Following this path requires an intentional, daily rejection of the human instinct to protect one's own ego and elevate oneself over others. Taking up the cross is the specific mechanism by which a person gains victory over sin. It means responding to conflict, fear, and hostility with the non-coercive love demonstrated at Calvary. The individual believer's life then becomes a completely tangible, physical continuation of God's self-giving character in action. Salvation is a total, unifying identification with the cross, applied directly to everyday choices. The final gospel message is a physical embodiment of Christ's character through a people who reflect his way of life. This lived testimony provides the final, undeniable evidence needed to permanently expose Satan's misrepresentations of God's character and methods of governance. Zooming back out to the cosmic scale, the cross answers every lingering question about the harmony between God's justice. This diagram illustrates how eternal life remains secure. Order isn't maintained by the threat of divine force, but because every intelligent being freely chooses to trust God's character. By relying entirely on uncoerced love rather than domination, the cross guarantees ultimate eternal stability, forever securing the universe.